NBA draft coming up this Tuesday. What does that mean? We'll find out in the coming days as the Milwaukee Bucks have made it known that they and Giannis Antetokounmpo, their marriage may be coming to an end. They want a bevy of draft picks or a young superstar. And a lot of people saying that they want to get this deal done before the draft so they can use the draft picks. And then they could either use the star or the draft picks. Everyone said the Miami Heat have the best offer on the table thus far, which would include one Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, most likely Jaime Jaquez Jr., the 13th pick this year, and possibly three future first-round picks. Which, Vlad, I ask you this question. Remember, at the trade deadline, isn't that kind of the same offer they made to them last year? How is this such an impressive offer now if it hasn't really changed that much? I'm wondering. Time,
yeah.
13th pick.
Well, the 13th pick. They didn't have that. They knew they would have a first-round pick, but they didn't know where that first-round pick would be.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. The timing has.
So the timing, right? The timing has done it, and also you can't. That's teams are very, very hesitant in joining aprons or entering aprons. That second apron. So teams got to do a lot of finagling and maneuvering just to see if the trade is possible and after they make the trade, what other pieces they can surround, a star like Giannis or Giannis and whoever the team. So say like an OKC or you're gonna surround him and Shea together. What are you gonna do? How long is this? Because what is he now? 31 going to 32.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're giving up some young prospects, you got to win now to make so that 5 years from now, if you're not looking at this and wondering, oh, we wasted our picks or we wasted the development of so and so of Kel'el Ware.
Well, the first thing is we are hearing that the Knicks. I don't know. The Knicks have been on everybody's mind since they won the championship. We are hearing that the Bucks and the Heat, two teams very far from the Knicks, the Bucks and the Heat are just basically working out the finer details of the conditional draft picks.
But how many more months they need to work out the finer details if they've been talking to each other for nearly a year now, bro? Like that's what I'm thinking. Like that's what I'm on. This is why it's always been bothersome for me with this trade of Giannis is because I feel like like you said earlier, if Miami had the best offer during the trade deadline in February,
and it's basically the same offer,
and it's basically the same offer with the added twist of you got the
that it's going to be a 13th.
You know it's going to be a 13th pick. And Miami hasn't even looked at anybody in the 13th, hasn't worked out or interviewed anybody that they feel like they're going to get in the first round because they know that pick's going to be moved. What's the problem?
Well, that means Miami knows something.
And you know what that means? You're listening to all the offers. That's what it is. There's been new people, new teams have entered the conversation, and you're looking at your team. And I can't knock Milwaukee for that because this is a big decision. So if you're going to make a move like this, you got to make the right decision for your team or what you feel is the right decision for your team because it's going to change your franchise for the next 5 to 10 years.
At this point, I don't see anybody. Let's take a lot of different vantage points. Anybody being a winner, and now somebody else could come up with an offer and someone can be a winner. I say this: Miami Heat. We've talked about this in the past, lad. Losing what they lose all their depth, and they lose a lot of draft picks, and they get Giannis. And Giannis is a great player, 2-time MVP. He's unbelievable. But really, you're starting lineup heavy, and you're running the risk of injury. And if anybody gets injured, that's a major crack in the dam. So in the Heat's aspect, it's, your whole argument is we have to do something different. Well, yeah, but is that the right different move? From the Bucks standpoint, you look at it and you're like, that's all we're going to get for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., some first-round picks. Is that enough as a Bucks fan to really make you go, okay, that's cool? Now that there's the talk, the Celtics, you really want to get rid of Jaylen Brown in any way, shape, or form?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so I've been thinking about this. They've been together for a while now. It's been 7-8 years. They've been to the finals twice. They won a championship. Sooner or later, you could see that there might be maybe it might not even be JT and JB who don't mess with each other, but the media's constant narrative of pushing that. It's going to get to a point where one of them, maybe Jalen, is probably going to want his own team and show out on his own. They both are making $60 million, Dan. That's nearly 50% of like 45% of your salary cap is on those two players.
And mind you, last year was supposed to be a rebuilding down year, and they finished second in the East.
And they finished second in the East, and right now they're the odds-on favorite to come out the East right now. Even after the Knicks won the championship, the love for Boston's crazy, and that's even without the notion knowing that if they're gonna trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis, but Giannis he's a needle mover. He's a needle mover.
As a Celtics fan, though, you're okay with losing Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo? As a Celtics fan, I would say no. No.
I think they would be, because they got to look at their team. Their team, what was their deficiency last season? They had no inside presence.
Yeah, but they're a perennial contender for a championship,
and they can still continue. It's not like we're saying Jaylen Brown that like they're trading Jaylen Brown for some bum.
No, I'm not saying
people
that.
would say Giannis is still a better player than Jaylen Brown. Giannis is still a top 5 player. So you're trading Jaylen Brown, who's a top 15 player, for a top 5 player. I mean, you're actually improving the team.
A guy who most likely, to me, was the MVP last year.
And I get it. And we all have our guys. Well, we all have guys that we like, and because they don't get the love that we think they should get. But guess what? If they don't get the love, it's no knock on them. They're playing alongside somebody who's just as good or maybe better. Guess what? Tatum's always been the Boston guy. They love JT. They love JT. I think a lot of people's problem with Jason Tatum is the fact that it feels like the media has been trying to push him to be a superstar because of his he loved Kobe and all that. And it's almost getting to the point right now that anybody who's summoning the Mamba mentality, if the audience don't like you, if the media don't like you, they're gonna be like, oh, you're trying to be something that you're not. If they do like you, oh, he's summoning Kobe's the Mamba mentality, or he's summoning Jordan. That's trust me, that's how people look at things. So when Jason Tatum, he took the picture. He took the picture if they won the title, like Kobe took a picture back in the days. People were clowning him for that. So therefore, right now, Boston has got a decision to make.
Yeah.
Do you keep JT, even though he's off the Achilles injury? He's coming back. Do you keep JT? Do you move JB?
So as a Bucks fan, that is a win.
So as a Bucks fan, you're gonna win because if you're a Bucks fan, you get Jaylen Brown. You're getting a good player. You know what I'm saying? You're not losing. You're getting rid
of a disgruntled player, although probably, like we said, Jaylen Brown might not want to play in Milwaukee that much. You might have to use him as a trade piece. But if you could,
you're gonna have to get a 13. He's going to Atlanta. You're gonna have to get a 13. But if it was a straight up deal, it actually works out money wise.
I would rather have Jaylen Brown than Giannis Antetokounmpo if I'm the Bucks, of course, because Giannis has made it not clear, but without saying the words, he doesn't want to be in Milwaukee anymore. You get Jaylen Brown, he's younger. He seems to be on the upside of his career, while Giannis Antetokounmpo is on the steady side of his career. But the problem is this. Boston's going to play this game. You get Jaylen Brown. You don't get all these picks. You don't get all these younger guys. No. Star for star, maybe some type of trade here and there, make the money right. So in Milwaukee, you basically are trading stars, although you're now having a star that is at least new to you and not old to you. Then the Pistons are supposedly getting involved in some way as a third team where Tyler Hero could end up in Detroit. I don't know. Is that the Pistons just making moves because they were a number 1 seed and they have not gone very deep into the playoffs? This has been a curious case of a 2-time MVP that I really don't know. And is there a possibility the Bucks say, you know what? We'll just sit on this for a little bit. We'll wait till after the draft.
Well, I mean, that's what's happening right now because everybody, and that's what's scaring all the Heat fans because they figured like, oh, we're going to get this deal done and we get Giannis and trading deadline. We can start putting the cast around them for this 2026-27 Heat season. And then now you're hearing, oh, this trade deadline might happen after the draft, which means it goes into which is probably leading to free agency because when's the draft? The 23rd?
It's Tuesday.
Which would be
the 23rd.
Okay. Guess what's and then a week after that is NBA free agency.
So then everybody would have to hold on free agency because they want to see where Giannis Antetokounmpo lands.
I just feel like a lot of players who might want to sign with contenders, things might change. If like, oh, wait a minute, Giannis is going there. Giannis is going here.
So is Giannis Aaron Rodgers doing this thing, or he's kind of being like, "Yep,
great call.
You just
great
wait
call.
for me."
Great call.
Does he like that? Because Giannis is that.
I'm the hottest chick in the game.
Is he that kind of aw shucks guy, but really likes that deep down attention?
I'm not the hottest chick in the game, but he's been letting you know he loves the attention. He wants the attention. He wants us to feel loved and desired. Like they all want, all these athletes, especially superstars, even though they tell you they don't, they all want to be loved. You know what I mean? They all want to be admired. So therefore, he loves this. He knows this. And guess what? You can if you know that I gave you a title, your first title in over 50 years.
That is true. He has that one.
And I've been loyal to you since the day I was drafted by you guys. I've been here for 10, 11 years. Like everybody can see, hey, we're not the same organization as we were in 2021 and 2022. Things got to be done. And you've tried. You tried to get Dame. That didn't work. So it's time for me to move on. But he hasn't.
Be honest, they've done everything
they have. And they have.
Give them credit.
They have. That's why I'm not knocking Milwaukee.
And his best running mate was Drew Holiday.
And Chris Middleton.
Well, yes, of course, Chris Middleton. But he needed Drew Holiday to kind of pull that thing full circle.
Oh, he needed Chris Middleton to hit the baskets in the fourth quarter.
Once again, I have a huge red flag about Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I know your red flag. Your red flag is, it's not a red flag for me, but it's cautionary.
He throws it out there. I brought them a championship. I brought them a championship.
And you're like, you be like,
don't look here.
It was Chris Middleton that was taking those shots because everybody was afraid of your free throw shooting.
And it was also
it was Drew Holiday making those plays. Now, don't get it twisted. You did have the block on the alley-oop, and then you did catch the dunk.
He had a huge game, a clinching game. Also, don't forget, Phoenix was up in that series
2-0. No,
everybody was ready to coronate them.
That's why it's bad. It's a knock on CP because he was that close of getting the title that would have
absolutely secured his.
He's already Hall of Famer.
Legendary.
You would have looked at CP's name would be
another level
referred a little bit more. Like there would be more reference if he had a title.
But yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo leans on that one championship, that one good run,
and he can. He can.
You cannot take that away. You are 100% right. You cannot take away that run and that championship, but you can also not take away a lot of first round exits, a lot of second round. Actually, no,
a lot of first round.
A lot of first round exits.
A lot of first round.
Some second round exits. Other than that,
a lot of first round exits, buddy.
Yeah, hold up. Let's say it right. A lot of first round exits. Some second round exits. And you're all favored in these, by the way. Don't act like, we just went up against a juggernaut. No. You got Jimmy Butler 8 seeded. You got inside the bubble, Bam Adebayo.
You got paced. The Pacers, not only that, and the Pacers called you out like during the regular season. Remember?
Yeah,
during the NBA Cup. By the way, I still like the NBA Cup, even though my team won it.
I never hated it.
But I will say this. The NBA Cup is an indicator of a lot of beefs and a lot of good a lot of good rivalries brewing. Indiana, Milwaukee. That was NBA Cup started at. Knicks, Spurs, NBA Cup started at. So watch the NBA Cup. There are teams that really, really look forward to it. And I can understand these players won $1 million.
I don't want.
So, but you're right. Milwaukee, Indiana eliminated them. They lost to 8 seed Miami when they were the 1 seed.
They lost in the second round in the bubble. I know
they lost to Toronto.
Yeah.
To Kawhi. They were up 2-0.
Yeah.
That was the year they were supposed to go to the finals. They were up 2-0.
And these are years they were favored. Don't act like,
these were the years they were favored. One seed.
Yeah, they were ones, and they were the beast of the East. And so, nonetheless, I think Heat fans, all in all, you'd be happy if you get Giannis. But I just throw out a little buyer beware because, like you said, the playoff record isn't all that great, especially in the first round. And our depth is going to be interesting, depending on what they can work out.
And Playboy, injured.
And that's another thing.
He's been injured.
When you are starting lineup heavy, you also have to rely on your health, and we don't know very many NBA teams that stay very healthy throughout the season. Every team has their problems.
Right, but his injuries over the last 3 or 4 years have been calf injuries.
And that means
low
what
extremities.
do the calf bones, the calf muscles connected to the
Achilles heel.
Achilles heel. It should be interesting though, Vlad. If a move will be made at the 11th hour, or if the Bucks will say we don't need to be pressured into anything, kind of what they did at the trade deadline. Heat fans, we will just sit by, wait with bated breath to see how this team will look differently next year. Keyword differently next year.